Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk with me, your host, Pop. And in this stream, we take a look at the world through the lens of an industrial point of view. Yes, we will definitely go over some of the shortages in the skilled trades and what's being done about it. We'll see what's going on in the news, which companies are thriving, which are shutting down. We'll also check out our accident investigation, and I've got a good one for you today. Something that will apply to all of us. And then everyone's favorite time, it's picture time. We'll do that. We'll do picture time after that. And that'll be in keeping with the title of the stream, which is The Recycling Lie. As someone that's worked in the waste management and recycling field for 15 years, I like to think I know what I'm talking about. So, come along with me as we go through and people learn what really happens to their plastic and paper and metal and where they think it goes and where it really goes. We'll do that a little later. First off, we're going to check out some of the news here, courtesy of Plant Magazine. And the first one that catches my eye is GM Canada is going to invest $691 million in their St. Catharines propulsion plant. So propulsion, that should be engines or motors if it's for electric vehicles. But let's have a look and see what they're doing. Hey, what's up? It's DJ Ronnie G. What's up, DJ? Are you just getting home from work? Make another safe commute back to the homestead? So GM Canada is going to invest $691 million, but what is that money going to do? General Motors will invest $691 million in St. Catharines propulsion plant to support production of the sixth generation of GM's V8 engine, the company announced. The engines will be used in full-size GM trucks and SUVs sold in North America. GM said equipment for the project has begun arriving at the Ontario facility. The plant will continue producing the current fifth-generation V8 engine while preparing for next-generation production. With the investment, St. Catharines will become the third GM propulsion facility producing the new generation of V8 engines, alongside plants in Tonawanda, New York, and Flint, Michigan. You took the day off to prep for some side work tomorrow. Hey, very good, DJ. I love those days off work. Do you know where Tonawanda is in New York? Any idea? I'm not sure. I figure, because, hey, you're from New York. You should know. According to GM Canada, the next generation V8 engine is expected to deliver improved performance with updates related to combustion and thermal management. The investment will fund new machinery, equipment, tooling, and facility renovations at the St. Catharines site. Hey, how you doing, Alex? You're grabbing a seat since you're limping around. What did you do? Are you okay? You all right? Limping around, that can't be good. It's got to be upstate. Okay, DJ. I suppose we could find a map on here and see where it is. I prefer to go to the people, though. Screw Google. In a statement included in the release, GM Canada President and Managing Director Jack Uppel said the announcement confirms St. Catharines' role in one of GM's core vehicle programs. The St. Catharines investment follows other recent GM manufacturing commitments in Canada. GM had previously announced a $343 million investment in its Oshawa assembly plant to support production of the next generation of gas-powered full-size pickup trucks, and says it invested approximately $3.3 billion in Canadian manufacturing operations since 2020. GM Canada also said St. Catharines plant has received $828 million in investments since 2020, while Oshawa Assembly has received approximately $1.5 billion over the same period. company said it continues to assess future options for its Kami assembly facility in Ontario. So more money, but it sounds like all they're building is pickup trucks. This must be a lucrative segment. Myself personally, I'm looking for a small truck, like what we used to have back in the 80s and all that, when you had like a little Ranger, like a small truck like that, but they don't make those anymore. You can't get, a 1/4-ton truck anymore. I'm going to have to resort to buying like a Japanese import truck because I just need it for commuting back and forth to work. So, the big three auto manufacturers are not giving us what we want, and that's a small or a tiny truck. So, but all this money is going to their places where they're going to build V8 engines for trucks. Hey, it's Godzillionaire, Kaiju in the house. They can't make the Rangers or S10s anymore because of environmental crap. Yeah, that's... It doesn't make any sense to me, Godzillionaire. Small truck, small engine, shouldn't make a lot of pollutants. But for some reason you can't have small truck, small engine. I don't get it. Whoever wrote that convoluted thing, they should be slapped upside of the head. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I miss those Rangers and S10s. Just try to find a used one to buy. Just like finding hen's teeth. Something about amount of emissions is governed by the size or weight, and they can't get the ratio to meet the arbitrary standard. I think maybe they pulled their standard out of their ass or something, like just they didn't have anything that was smartly thought of. Nobody put any real thought into it. They were just like, yes, we need this ratio, and that's it. But the main part of that story was GM's going to invest some more money in their building more engines for trucks. So there you go. Notice they said they're not putting any money into electric vehicles. APMA and Hanwha announced conditional joint venture to manufacture military vehicles in Canada. Canada's Auto Parts Manufacturers Association, or APMA, and South Korea-based Hanwha have announced a proposed joint venture to establish a new Canadian company focused on the domestic production of military and non-commercial industrial vehicles. Hey, what's up there, Gween Imp? How you doing over on the Twitch side? Good to see you. Just going through some news of the week here. Gween streams over on Kick. If you guys are not Kick, Twitch. If you ever get a chance to check out Gween or Gween Imp, you should do that. I was by the other day. He was having a good old time shooting up the joint. According to a joint announcement issued April 29th, the venture would produce vehicles in Canada using Canadian labor and domestically sourced materials, including steel and aluminum. The company said businesses would serve Canadian government and defense needs as well as export markets. The proposed joint venture is contingent on Hanwha's KSS-3 submarine being selected for Canada's Canadian Patrol Submarine Project. A federal defense procurement is currently underway. The company stated that the vehicle production plans would proceed only if Hanwha's submarine bid is successful. That sounds like extortion. Like, am I wrong here? But it's like, well, we won't build this facility here, the factory, to build stuff unless you buy our submarines from us. Like, what is this? Oh, Super ZNES beta testing was last stream. I saw, I think it was MVG doing a video on the Super ZNES. Yeah, nice on them. getting that emulator up and working better. Yeah, I like that. I do a lot of emulation myself. So yeah, this is like blackmail. The way the South Korean guys are like, nope, we're not going to build that factory unless you buy our submarine. That's disgusting. Been a blast. Glad they brought you back after 3. Yeah, that's after that long, eh? 30 years. Whew. APMA and Hanwha said the new entity would be Canadian controlled with majority Canadian ownership, a Canadian board, and Canadian chief executive officer. The initiative aligns with the federal government's recently released defense industrial strategy, which emphasizes increased domestic industrial participation in defense procurement, according to the announcement. If the CPSP bid is successful, the company said production capabilities in Canada could include a range of military platforms, such as self-propelled artillery systems, infantry fighting vehicles, multiple launch rocket systems, and uncrewed ground vehicles. Specific timelines, production locations, and investment figures were not disclosed. In a statement included in the release, APMA President Flavio Volpe said the initiative could expand Canada's role in defense manufacturing by leveraging existing automotive manufacturing capacity. Hanwha Aerospace CEO Son Jae-il said in the announcement that the company sees opportunities to combine Canadian manufacturing expertise with Hanwha's defense technologies. No government confirmation or procurement decisions related to CPSP were included in the announcement. So this is just all dependent on whether we buy their submarines. If we don't buy their submarines, they're not going to build their facility here. Like I say, that's blackmail or extortion or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Godzilla, yay, Skynet drones. We don't need those. What else we got here? Jolly unveils $1.5 billion in tariff relief after Trump ratchets up trade war. Did he ratchet up the trade war? I'm not paying much attention to that. Spartek Composites signs defense teaming agreement linked to submarine project. Oh, there's that submarine project again. Electrorefinery expansion backed by $20 million in federal funding. Well, let's see what this tariff relief is about. It's just the government handing out money, isn't it? Isn't that all it is? The term for that is quid pro quo. Ah, I gotcha. Skid row bro. Right. No problem. The federal government said Monday it will put $1.5 billion towards tax relief in response to the United States expanding the range and depth of its metal tariffs. The announcement includes the creation of a new $1 billion program under the Business Development Bank of Canada to bolster the manufacturing sector, along with a $500 million top-up to the Regional Tariff Response Fund. The new BDC loan programming is meant to shore up factories hit by U.S. tariffs affecting exports of products containing steel, aluminum, and copper. Ottawa will make the available 3-year low interest loans of up to $50 million for the aluminum, steel, and copper sectors. The loans don't have to be repaid for 3 years. Industry Minister Melanie Joly and Digital Innovation Minister Evan Solomon announced the new measures Monday morning. They said businesses need quick access to liquidity in the short term and medium term help to find new export markets. We're in a trade war. We are on the front lines, and the goal is to protect workers and actually keep companies afloat, Joly told news conference in Ottawa. Our goal is really to make sure ultimately that the businesses keep their workforces and that we can help them pivot, and it's not an easy task. Even with access to the extra funds, some manufacturing companies are warning they may not be able to stand the strain of President Donald Trump's more aggressive tariff regime. Trump signed a proclamation on April 2nd to strengthen his steel and aluminum tariffs and add copper derivatives. Okay, but is a proclamation like legally binding? I don't understand if it is or not. Like, proclamation, that just means he's saying something, doesn't it? You're proclaiming. It's not like a law, like a bill. Somebody help me out here. I don't know. Godzilla here, remember, tariffs are great for every country but the USA. They're not good. Really. You really got to settle down with those. That has made it more expensive for Canadian manufacturers to export to the U.S. It also has added dizzying complexity to the way tariff rates on goods are assessed, sowing confusion among customs brokers and small Canadian firms. Nicole Vlanich, executive director of the Canadian Association of Mold Makers, told the Canadian press on Monday her industry appreciates the quick response from Ottawa, but the loan plan doesn't go far enough. These companies are already financially strapped, so adding more stress in the form of additional payments, even if it's extended terms, will just create more problems down the line. Her organization is looking to have the federal government take on the cost of the additional tariffs implemented in April, which are slamming small and medium-sized businesses with thin profit margins. So you want the government to pay for it. You mean, so the government, that means the people. The people's money. No, I don't think so. These tariffs are putting them in the red. What they need is support that creates certainty so they can continue on. If your position is so tenuous, why are you in business? Let me translate that from Quebecer. Money, please. Où est l'argent? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Where is my money? You make sure you get it to me so I can spend it without having to work for it. We have members now receiving their first bills, and for one shipment, it's as high as $600,000 in tariffs. And that's just the tariffs. It's too much to manage. I mean, I think you cherry-picked your numbers there and whoever your shipment was going to. Because you can whip up anything, you know. Oh yeah, 70% of people love tariffs. Do you believe me? You can just pull numbers out of there and just say stuff. Oh yeah, 50% of people want an electric vehicle. It's like Spirit Airlines going belly up. The U.S. government wanted to bail them out. Why? They can't survive. Why should the taxpayers have to support them? Yes. That's the way I look at it too. Just because you're too useless to manage a company doesn't mean the government should bail you out. Catherine Cobden, head of the Canadian Steel Producers Association, said in a media statement Monday that her organization welcomes the new financial supports for the industry. She also called for additional measures. Seems that's what everybody does. When the government does something, they're like, it's not far enough. We need more measures. She said Trump's tariff tweaks are having a profound impact on our downstream customers. Cobden called on Ottawa to strengthen its tariff regime to protect the Canadian market from imports of derivative steel products that domestic firms already produce. Conservative industry critic Raquel Dancho said the measures are only temporary fix and a clear admission by the Liberal government that there is no deal in sight to end the punishing tariffs. We talked about this last week, guys, where Carney's like, you're not going to dictate the terms, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, just shut up and sit down. You know, listen for once. Don't just yap it up. We're increasingly concerned that there is an urgency being had by the Liberal government. That there hasn't been any urgency for 10 years for that stupid government that's been in place. Jolly's Monday news conference to announce the new measures was held at the Les Ateliers Beauroc dump truck manufacturing facility on the outskirts of Ottawa. It was attended by several Liberal MPs from ridings hit hard by tariffs, including Hamilton's Lisa Hepner and Sarnia's Marilyn Gladu. Dominic O'Rourke, the MP for Guelph, one of the most tariff-exposed regions in Canada, said the main thing affecting businesses in Ontario's manufacturing belt is uncertainty, and this help is urgently needed. So you know the government's going to do everything they can to help Ontario because that's where all their voters are. Quebec and Ontario, that's where the majority, that's where the government gets voted in. West, if you're Manitoba West, it doesn't matter how we vote. Ontario and Quebec, they decide the entire thing. And I'm sure that's how it is in the U.S. for you guys. You know the Canadian government could always offset tariffs and lower provincial taxes, right? What the hell you say? Lower taxes? I don't think that's ever going to happen. That's going backwards. I don't think that's in their vocabulary. I'm just hoping that we have their attention now because we turned in our collection of signatures for Alberta separation, and it turned out to be 301,000 signatures, and all we needed was 177,000. So we did pretty well, but I don't think they're taking us very seriously. So we'll see what happens. We got to get that. There's a referendum coming. It should happen in October. So I'm looking forward to see what happens there. If we can get away from the federal government ruining us and not letting us be prosperous, all the better. The new interpretation of the Section 232 tariffs has really been significant because companies that were exporting under one assumption, things have turned on a dime for them. It's a huge challenge for companies to keep track of the tariff changes. She said large firms have seen their production slow down while assemblers and fabricators down the supply chain are seeing both shop floor and slowdowns and job losses. Jolly said the government is currently in talks with softwood and forestry companies about further financial supports. More government handouts. Spartek Composites signs defense teaming agreement linked to submarine project. There we are again. There's that submarine project again. Ontario-based Spartek Composites has signed a teaming agreement with Hanwha Ocean and Colin Spaceworks in connection with Canada's Canadian Patrol Submarine Project. Yeah, Gween, tariffs are great. Ruin the PC industry too. Yeah, it's really knocked everyone around, hasn't it? Like getting hit with a sledgehammer. The agreement was finalized during CPSP Partners Day in Montreal and is tied to Hanwha Ocean's bid for the federal submarine program. Spartek said the arrangement establishes a framework for collaboration if the bid moves forward. According to the company, the agreement would expand Spartek's involvement in advanced composite manufacturing for defense applications with work anchored at its Erin, Ontario operations in Wellington County. Spartek said the potential scope of work would build on its existing manufacturing capabilities in prior defense programs. Any increase in production would depend on the outcome of the procurement process and subsequent program decisions. The company also said the agreement aligns with earlier investments in workforce development and technical training at its Ontario facility. Spartek noted that the future activity under the partnership would create opportunities for engineers, apprentices, and skilled trades workers subject to project approvals. Spartek Composites manufactures advanced composite structures and supplies defense, industrial, and automotive markets. The company operates out of Erin, Ontario. AI ruined the PC industry? Yes, Godzillionaire, I agree. Those stupid data centers, we don't need those data centers. Personally, I don't think we need AI either. In case you haven't figured out, I'm very anti-AI. I will never use AI on this channel. Just so you know. Okay, here we go. Electra Battery Materials Corporation's refinery in Northern Ontario is set to expand production capacity following a $20 million federal investment, according to a government news release. This funding will support a $99.4 million project by Electra Battery Materials to repurpose and expand its existing facility in Temiskaming Shores, Ontario, to produce battery-grade cobalt sulfate, a key input used in electric vehicle batteries. Once operational, the facility is expected to be the first cobalt sulfate refinery in North America. The federal government has said the plant could supply material equivalent to the annual production of up to 1 million electric vehicles. According to the announcement, the project is expected to create and maintain more than 160 jobs, including 60 full-time positions, with construction activity employing an additional 100 skilled trades workers. Economic spillover is also anticipated for nearby communities such as North Bay and Sudbury. The government said domestic production of cobalt sulfate would reduce reliance on imported battery materials and improve access to processed cobalt for Canadian manufacturers, with potential applications across automotive manufacturing, defense production, and semiconductor supply chains. Ever seen a battery recycling plant? Not an ideal place. I wouldn't want to. Yeah, I wouldn't want to have be in a recycling plant for batteries. Hey, what's up, Veritex? How you doing? Good to see you. I think that's going to be it, though, for the news. So a couple things happening. A lot to do with that submarine deal that they're doing. GM's getting a boost in their engine plant for more truck engines, of all things. So let's move along here. When I saw this, I just about choked. Lapointe. Feds have a $6 billion plan to steer jobless youth into skilled trades. I'll tell you what, if I'm a jobless youth, I don't need the government to tell me to go find a job in the trades. I'm going myself. Like I'm finding a job in the trades on my own. If I was a young person now, I'm not waiting for the government to be like, hey, why don't you try this out? I'm like, you know what? I want a job. I want to work. I want to make money. But whatever. Let's see what they're blowing our money on now. Oh, Veritex says, my battery recycling plant was a Buddy L supercharger. Best Christmas present I had as a kid. Recharging Energizer and Duracell alkaline cells, stretching their life through 4 to 8 uses. Save so much. Yeah. That's all right, Veritex. Does the military count as a skilled trade? I mean, government needs... Guys, I was this close to joining the military back in the 90s. Yeah, the job outlook was bleak, and I signed all my papers and I was ready to hand it in, because they have MOCs, so military occupations, and one was an equivalent to what I do, and that's called materials technician. And so I was going to join just so I could become a materials technician, but you know, fate had other plans, and I didn't join. That's funny, because some folks are saying there's a trades bubble, suggesting that so many will be in trades that wages might suffer. Get your supercharger before they ban them. Nice. Yes, Alex, that close. I was that close. Missed it by that much. Then we'd be watching the Pop Culture Machine Gunner channel. That's right, you guys. Fall in. We're going to do some machine gunning. But yeah, that's... I did come close to joining the military. Let's just say that I just had to hand all my papers in. There's a trades bubble, though, Veritex? Oh, I can't see it. I mean, we see so much written that there is a shortage. But let's see what they're saying here. Last week's spring economic update contained one bold ambition that seeks to solve two urgent problems. The federal government's $6 billion skilled trades initiative, Team Canada Strong, takes aim at addressing Canada's workforce shortage. Recruit, train, and hire up to 100,000 new Red Seal skilled trades workers by 2031 and cut the time to certification by 50%. Oh, I don't like either of that. More like Pop Culture Gunnery Channel or Pop Culture Attention. Pop Culture Teen Hunt. This is the Gunner Channel. You don't see it either. The reasoning was flawed. The only place it might be happening was mechanics, and only because of what dealerships are doing. Yeah, that could be. I haven't looked much into dealerships. I know Ford was like just begging for people to become mechanics, though. Okay, so first thing, you don't need to be a Red Seal. Okay? All a Red Seal means is you can work in any province. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to move from province to province, or it would be for you state to state. So saying that it has to be a Red Seal, that's stupid. You don't need to be a Red Seal to work in your own province unless you're not gonna go to a different province. So don't worry about that. And cutting the time to certification by 50%. I want somebody who's gone through a 4-year program, not a 2. You need those 4 years. You need those 8,000 hours. Don't try to do all the work in 4,000 hours. You're not going to have very skilled people coming out of the end of it. You're not going to have a skilled journeyman at the end. You can't try to jam 4 years worth of knowledge in 2. It just doesn't work. They're good. They're making problems. They're going to regret doing this. You need your Red Seal so you can be forced to move to Ottawa or Quebec to help out the lip-rested lips. Yeah. No, I mean, I personally, I do have my Red Seal, but I don't want to go to another province to work. I don't want to go to BC or Saskatchewan or whatever. I don't want to definitely don't want to go to Ontario. I'll stay where I am. But let's see what happens here. Canada is facing 2 converging economic pressures. A rapidly accelerating shortage of skilled trades workers is colliding with a historic demographic reality. Zero labor force growth as retirements rise and population growth slows. By 2033, Canada will need more than 1.4 million new trades workers to meet demand. Too few Canadians are entering the skilled trades. Training systems remain slow, and apprenticeship completion rates are persistently low. In 2024, more than 100,000 people registered in the apprenticeship program, but only 34,000 completed the training. Yeah, I mean, things happen, but you got to really want it. You got to want to do it. You can't just be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to sign up to be a tradesman and earn big money. No. You're gonna work as an apprentice first. And you're going to get in there and you're going to get dirty. And you're going to do jobs you're not going to want to do. But that's how it is out there. As a result, Canada faces acute shortages in priority Red Seals trades, including electricians, millwrights, pipe fitters, welders, and carpenters. At the same time, we are dealing with an increase in youth unemployment, where we have seen an unprecedented surge in joblessness among 15 to 24-year-olds, with rates reaching as high as 15%, significantly higher than the national average. Okay, why are we including 15-year-olds here? Unemployment between 15 and 24. They're still in high school. What are you guys doing? Maybe start 18 to 24? That's usually when you're not in high school anymore. I mean, to me, that's dumb to include somebody who's 15, 16, 17. They should be finishing off and graduating. Whatever. Federal government is seizing the opportunity to connect young people with good, well-paying careers while meeting Canada's most urgent workforce needs. By connecting young people to in-demand skilled trades rather than only temporary or short-term jobs, these measures address youth unemployment while strengthening Canada's long-term economic capacity. Team Canada Strong is not only a trades worker initiative, it is a youth employment strategy. It's a concrete funded pathway for young Canadians who are struggling to find their footing in today's job market. I mean, sure. You started working at 16, and if you're not willing to work at 16, you might not be super motivated at 18. Well, yeah. You know what, Godzilla? I did work at 16 as well, but only during the summer. I still, when school started, I went back and finished school. And you working in the summer for a summer student as a summer job, that's fine. But I don't like how they included that, because it's like, 15, you should be going to school and not really worrying about a job. Yeah, have a part-time job if you like. Yes, Squeen. Yep, all the old tradesmen, they're retiring. You bet they are. It's demographics. We've talked about it on this channel before with the guys, and you can watch the demographics year by year, and it's like, okay, in this year, a lot of people are going to retire. A lot of the boomers are going to retire, and that's going to leave a giant gap to be filled. But it's just governments don't want to deal with it until it's a crisis. For communities like Sudbury, the double mandate could not be more timely. This initiative gives young people a paid on-ramp into careers that pay well, are in high demand, and provide genuinely meaningful work. The program provides a 5-step pathway for providing a first job to obtaining a Red Seal certification. They are paid job-ready placements. Step 1, to gain hands-on experience, where small and medium enterprises receive $10,000 wage incentive to bring a young person on board. I'm just waiting until I can ask for a massive raise. Yeah. Oh, look I'm the only trades guy around. Be a shame if I went over to work at that company, because they're looking. Actually, if you go on it, you can get headhunted too by if you go on Indeed and post all your stuff and everything like that. Companies will come after you, because I think they go on there to check what people's skills and credentials and everything are. So I'm not on there. I don't like Indeed, because they send you too much spam. You wonder if bookkeeping is considered a trade? What kind of books are you talking about? Are the books you show the government, or the books you show the syndicate? These placements lead to registered apprenticeships. Step 2, with employer or union training support, as they move through the technical training, apprentices will receive a $400 weekly income top-up. Step 3, during in-class training, there is also income support. Step 4, to bridge the gap between training and work to avoid apprentices falling off the program. And finally, a one-time $5,000 bonus will be given upon achieving Red Seal certification to help new tradesmen get established. Additional pathways exist through Canadian Armed Forces, including fully funded trades training for young Canadians joining the Primary Reserve, and a hands-on trades experience through cadets and junior Canadian Rangers. Just as long as it's not a death note. Oh, yeah. That's funny you mentioned that, Veritax. When we went to the anime convention last year, what did we see? The very first cosplayer we saw was an L from Death Note. And we're like, oh my god, it's still going. There's still people dressing up from Death Note. It's crazy. Team Canada's strong tackles the genuine barriers to entering the trades, the cost of training, income gaps while in school, and difficulty connecting with employers willing to take on apprentices. Sudbury has always been a builder. We build the mines, roads, the communities that define Northern Ontario. Now we have a chance to build the next generation of tradesmen, and through them help build the rest of Canada. All right, then. Oh, and this was written by a Liberal MP, so... He talked with an electrician last week. His group runs 2 training centers for apprentices. Earn while you work. Saturday education, etc. It's not... Yeah, damn right it is. That's good for them. Right on, Veritax. Hashtag Light did nothing wrong. Well, he definitely wasn't the hero. I wasn't rooting for Light. I'm like, this guy's a psycho. All right, here's one from the Financial Post. So take with it what you will. This is an opinion. We spend billions to recruit tradesmen, then abandon them at the finish line. I mean, I never felt abandoned. I don't know what they're talking about, but let's see what they're trying to say here. What kind of bull they trying to feed us? There's no shortage of politicians willing to stand in front of a camera and declare that Canada needs more skilled tradesmen, and they're right. By most estimates, we face a shortfall of more than 100,000 certified journeymen over the next decade. Governments have responded with recruitment campaigns, apprenticeship grants, and glossy awareness initiatives designed to convince young Canadians the trades are a good career path. Pro tip, they are a good career path. One does not make light of one light. At least he got his in the end. That's what I liked. And I didn't watch Death Note. I read it. Because it was a lot quicker to read it. What nobody talks about is what happens after they sign up. By 2024, fewer than 1 in 5 apprentices who had signed up in 2019 had been certified within their program's expected duration, while 30% had discontinued, as per Stats Canada's most recent registered apprenticeship information system release. Not because they couldn't do the work, most had already logged thousands of hours of supervised on-the-job training, but because there's virtually no institutional infrastructure to help them pass the single most consequential test of their career. Where is this? I wonder where they're talking about, because we have great schooling here in Alberta for the trades. We have 2 premier higher learning institutions, the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology and the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. And then I think even Red Deer has something, Red Deer College or something like that in Red Deer. So we've decided that skilled trades are critical to the national economy and then built a system that loses half its candidates at the final gate, not at recruitment or during transition, but at certification. Consider the contrast with a post-secondary education. A university student preparing for professional certification in law, medicine, accounting, or engineering has access to structured prep courses, practice exams, tutoring centers, peer study groups, and institutional support funded by the school they attend. These resources are baked into the system because everyone understands that getting students into a program is pointless if they can't get through it. Now consider Red Seal apprentices. After 3 to 5 years of your technical schooling and workplace hours, they are handed an exam date and wished good luck. There is no standardized prep curriculum, no publicly funded coaching, no mock exam administered by their training institution, no data-driven diagnostic to identify their weak areas before they sit down with a timer and a Scantron sheet. They study alone, usually from a dense textbook that covers hundreds of pages. And guys, this is a load of crap, all right? This is garbage. Whoever wrote this doesn't know anything. I've done the Red Seal exam. All a Red Seal exam is, what did you learn in first year? What did you learn second year? What did you learn third year? What did you learn fourth year? Red Seal is just all of the years. And when you're in your fourth year, you're like, yeah, I'm going to write the Red Seal exam, so I better study for the first year, second year, third year. But you have people there with you. You form study groups. You hang out after class, or even before class starts. You gather around and quiz each other and look over stuff. You're not left alone, only if you want to be alone. But you can help each other get through your fourth year and then your Red Seal exam. So I don't know what this guy's smoking. Probably crack, because that's not. This is not true. By the way, at the fairs you went to, lots of people looking for CDLs and truckers. A lot of firms are not surviving, resulting in more routes for others. Oh, CDL, commercial driver's licenses. Okay, yeah. We call that a class 1 up here, if you're driving a truck and a trailer. Yeah, so they're going to be really busy. If a lot of firms aren't surviving, they're going to need they're going to need truck drivers, good truck drivers too. Let's make that point clear. A good operator of a semi-truck. If they fail, they wait months for a re-examination. During that time, they cannot work at a journey. This is also they can't work as a journeyman. The income difference between a certified and uncertified tradesman ranges from $30,000 to $60,000 a year. That's not an abstraction. That's rent, truck payment, family stability. So this is a lie. You can work as a journeyman because you have finished your 4th year. Once again, Red Seal just means you can work inter-province. It's called the IP, the interprovincial. That's all it is. So once again, another lie. I don't know where this guy's getting his facts from, but they're wrong. The employer absorbs a cost too. Apprentices who fail their Red Seal exam represent 3 to 6 months of delayed full rate productivity every year. In trade and province, the economic cost is substantial entirely. This is a lie as well. I don't see that happening. If you don't have your Red Seal, it's not going to affect you. It's not going to affect your employer either. This is baloney. This guy is just shoveling it thick here. Red Seal with little red book. No, it's on your card. It's on your on my journeyman card. On the back is my Red Seal. All it says is interprovincial. That's all it says on it. Ottawa currently offers apprenticeship grants of up to $4,000 for various incentive programs. Provincial governments fund technical training seats. Billions flow into the front end from the trades pipeline, but no line item is dedicated to helping apprentices actually pass the exam that makes the entire investment worthwhile. No, that's up to you, right? You have your books that you read, your modules that you do, the questions that you answer. The questions you answer in the modules are going to be the questions that are on the test. So this is what we were told. As long as you do those modules and do the questions, you're going to pass the test. So I don't know what they're saying here. Like, there's no hand-holding. You're an adult. Grab your books and study. Read, answer the questions, do your work. Like, don't treat them like children. But you're a red. Better dead than red, DJ. I know what you're saying there. I am not a Mao supporter. That guy killed more people than anybody ever talks about. More of his own people. Because of his stupidity. It would be one thing if the exam were simply too difficult and the failure rate reflected this necessary quality filter, but most failures are a fraction of preparation, not ability. These are competent workers who were never taught how to study for a standardized time-pressured exam that tests theoretical knowledge in a format they do not encounter during their apprenticeship. Once again, as long as they read the modules and answer the questions in the back of the book, they'll be fine. If they don't do that, yeah, they're going to fail. Most underrated villain, Mao. Yeah, you bet he is. He should get more exposure as to how criminal he was. The fix is not complicated. Structured exam prep, personalized study plan, diagnostic assessments, mock exams with scored debriefs, and one-on-one coaching dramatically improves pass rates. I know it's because I built a business providing exactly that. Red Seal Rescue exists because the system doesn't. Well, I don't know where you are with this Red Seal Rescue, but we did fine. We had practice tests. We did, we didn't get personalized study plans. Like, figure it out. Reading disproportionately restricts people who don't know how to read. Yes, illiteracy is terrible, DJ. And I'd like it if everyone could be literate. That would be excellent. But a private coaching practice should not be the thing standing between competent tradesmen and their certification. The institutions that recruited them in the first place should also step up. If provinces can fund awareness campaigns and apprenticeship incentive grants, they can fund exam readiness programs. And guys, the place I went to, the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, they have stuff like, they know people suffer from exam anxiety and all that stuff. They have those things already there. they're already in place. You know, you're in a trade school, but there's other classes around. It's an academic institution, so it has the trades in there. It has, you know, a lot of academic stuff as well. So it's all a big campus, all in one. So you're going to have all those things available to you. So I don't know what this guy's talking about. All tradesmen know if the job is not completed, you don't get paid. The job of government's training programs and schools need to be certified, not just recruit. New tradesmen, law schools, engineering programs, and the like seem to understand that. So should trades educators. The trade shortage is real, so it's urgency. But pouring money into a top of a funnel while ignoring 50% leakage at the bottom is just serious workforce strategy. Canada doesn't need another campaign telling young people the trades are worth it. It needs a system that acts like it really believes it. Okay, this guy's a Red Seal electrician, trades workforce consultant, and founder of Red Seal Rescue, and based in Dawson Creek, BC. Okay, so he's in northern British Columbia. Maybe that's a problem where he is up there in northern British Columbia with people dropping out. But I'll tell you right now, it's not the same thing in Alberta. Well, that's it for that. Next up is accident investigation. Here we are. I saw this, and I thought this is something that applies to all of us. A fall from a ladder. We all deal with ladders in one form or another, whether it's a step ladder or an extension ladder or a fixed ladder. We all deal with them. You're very good, DJ. Red Seal. Not bad. Not bad. Guys, don't forget to check out DJ Ronnie G. He's got his own stream going on. The Monday show on Thursdays. So you can check him out. He talks a lot of tech and turtles and astronomy. You always have a good old time with DJ Ronnie G. Fixed ladder, you hope that means it's a ladder which is fixed in place and not a ladder which was broken but recently repaired. Yes. Yes, Veritax. Yes, it's one that's secured in place, not a recently repaired one. But let's see what happens here. A worker suffered fatal head injuries from a suspected fall while descending a fixed roof scuttle ladder to level ground. The owner of the work site in a single-story commercial property located at this place was Lala Investments. The property was managed since 2016 by a third-party property management company, Ken Durrell Management, who employed 90 workers. Prime contractor, All Pro Construction, was a commercial construction and project management company located in Edmonton. Their operations covered planning and construction of commercial business projects. They employed 4 workers and had contracted MXM Electric Limited to conduct electrical wiring of a newly installed rooftop heating, ventilation, and air conditioning unit, HVAC. The employer of the deceased worker, MXM Electric, was an electrical contracting company established in 2014. Performed maintenance, design, build, and commercial project electrical work based out of Edmonton. The owner, a journeyman electrician by trade, employed 1 full-time journeyman electrician and the deceased worker on an as-needed basis. The owner of MXM Electric, electrician number 1, who was supervising the work on the day of the incident, was a certified journeyman electrician by trade with approximately 16 years of experience. Electrician 1 was trained in first aid, fall protection, and had completed the Alberta Construction Safety Association training system, or CSTS. Electrician 2, the deceased worker. Electrician 2 was a certified journeyman electrician and had approximately 5 years of experience in the trade. Electrician 2 was trained in first aid and fall protection. Okay. The worksite was a single-story commercial property. It was under renovation when the incident occurred. There's the roof scuttle and fixed ladder. Okay. Not a big deal. I've seen these before. I've dealt with these. It's just the hatch. You've got the brace there to hold it up from falling down on you. And you climb down there. Climb down the ladder. There's another shot of it there. There's the ladder. Down to a concrete floor, it looks like. There's a picture from inside. Looks like a green rope here to lower your tools down. That's what it looks like to me anyway. Scuttle the boat. Yep, you got her, DJ. And there's the bottom of it. So it is definitely fixed to the wall. And it looks like it's fixed to the floor too. I think I can see some anchors there. Yep, it's anchored to the concrete floor. So there you go. All right, so let's see what the... You need one of those for your non-existent attic penthouse. Yes. Well, the sequence of events here. On August 21st, 2020, the workday began at approximately 7:30 with the arrival of electrician 1 at the work site. It was a coffee shop under construction located within a single-story commercial building designed for rental to two separate businesses known as Building O. The scope of work at the worksite involved wiring of a newly installed rooftop HVAC unit and was expected to take approximately 4 hours. This pipe's too close? It's not ideal, but I'm sure they would build it to code. Seeing as how, it looks like a brand new construction. So they would have to follow code. Okay, electrician 1 completed a field level hazard assessment for the day's work, offloaded necessary tools and supplies from their job van, and began performing some of the day's work while waiting the arrival of electrician 2. The hazard of working from ladders was noted on the FLHA, and the control measure of following the instructions on ladders when in use noted. Electrician 2 arrived at the worksite at approximately 8 a.m. and immediately commenced working, assisting electrician 1. This consisted of bending and cutting pipe, running wiring for the HVAC unit on the roof at ground level inside the building. At 9:30 a.m., electrician 1 and 2 both proceeded to the roof in order to progress the work. Access to the roof was gained via a fixed ladder located in approximately 2.75 meter by 2.9 meter mechanical and electrical room located at the rear of the building. The height of the fixed ladder from the ground to the roof scuttle was approximately 4.67 meters. That's about 13 feet. Electrician 1 communicated to electrician 2 the work that needed to be completed at the HVAC unit. This consisted of wiring that needed to be pulled through the roof and terminated, as well as mounting of a disconnect switch on the unit itself. Electrician 1 left electrician 2 to complete the work on the roof and proceeded back inside the building and into its interior ceiling space in order to pull the necessary wiring. At approximately 9:50, electrician 1 noticed that they needed an approximately 2-foot piece of piping to house the wiring to be pulled through the roof to the HVAC unit. Electrician 1 called to electrician 2 through the roof penetrations to come down from the roof and pass the required pipe to them in the ceiling space. Electrician 2 proceeded to come down from the roof via the roof scuttle and fixed ladder into the mechanical room. Electrician 1 waited for the arrival of electrician 2 inside the ceiling space. At approximately 9:55, electrician 1 called to electrician 2 when they failed to arrive inside the building to pass the required length of pipe. There was no response from electrician 2. Electrician 1 then attempted to contact electrician 2 by calling them on their cellular phone. 2 attempts were made, with both calls going to electrician 2 voicemail. At approximately 10 a.m., electrician 1 exited the ceiling space to check on the whereabouts of electrician 2. They proceeded to the mechanical room and upon entry found electrician 2 standing at the base of the fixed ladder holding onto a rung for support, facing the east wall, meters in the room. Oh, the meters, yeah. Electrician 1 observed electrician 2's hard hat on the ground in the northeast corner the room and their cellular phone near the entrance. The phone was slightly bent near the top and the screen was damaged. Electrician 2 communicated to Electrician 1 that they had hurt their back. When asked if they had fallen off the ladder, Electrician 2 replied that they had not. Okay. Electrician 2 attempted to exit the ME room on their own, but fell to the ground immediately outside the door. Electrician 1 assisted Electrician 2 to a seated position on the curbing outside the room, leaning against the building wall. Electrician 1 continued to question Electrician 2 about what happened and whether they needed any food or water. Electrician 2 responded to Electrician 1 that they did not need any food or water, did not want to go to the hospital, and continued to express they had hurt their back. After being seated outside on the curb for approximately 5 minutes, Electrician 1 brought Electrician 2 around to the front of the inside and inside the building to be seated in an available chair. Electrician 1 left Electrician 2 seated inside the building and proceeded back to the rooftop in order to clean up and close the roof scuttle. Guys, he shouldn't have left him alone. If you suspect somebody, he's probably in shock is what happened. If he fell off the ladder and he's standing and he said he hurt his back, he's holding onto the ladder and he collapses, don't leave the guy alone. Upon returning from the rooftop, Electrician 1 found Electrician 2 no longer sitting in the chair but wandering outside the building. Electrician 1 assisted Electrician 2 to a seated position outside and asked if they wished to be taken home. Electrician 2 responded that they did not and continued to communicate that their back hurt. Electrician 1 left Electrician 2 seated outside in order to go back into the ceiling space and seal up roof penetrations as rainfall was anticipated. Upon return, Electrician 1 found Electrician 2 unconscious, laying across bags of insulation on their chest. Electrician 1 woke Electrician 2 and asked if they had hit their head. Electrician 2 responded that they had not and needed to stretch their back as they had been attempting to do across the bags of insulation. At this point, Electrician 1 felt Electrician 2 must have suffered a head injury and called their spouse, who was a registered nurse. Electrician 1's spouse asked Electrician 2 a series of questions over the phone in order to ascertain whether a head injury had been suffered. Electrician 2 provided responses to questioning and indicated at that point that they had a headache. It was agreed 911 should be called, and approximately 11:26 a.m. Electrician 1 did so. So 2 hours almost. At 11:34, emergency medical services arrived at the worksite and we were met by Electrician 1. Electrician 2 was able to walk unsupported approximately 50 meters to the ambulance. Electrician 2 was examined by EMS inside their ambulance and then transported to Royal Alexandria Hospital, where Electrician 2 was admitted at approximately 1:34 p.m. Electrician 2 was diagnosed in hospital with a significant trauma injury to the back of their head. On August 24th, at 10:40 a.m., Electrician 1 notified Alberta Occupational Health and Safety of the admittance of Electrician 2 to hospital, and the investigation was commenced. On September 14th, at approximately 4 p.m., Electrician 2 succumbed to their head injuries in hospital. A review for enforcement action was completed in February, and it was determined that prosecution or an administrative penalty were not appropriate based on circumstances surrounding this incident. Okay, so he banged his head. And as soon as you see that there's a hard hat that's fallen away and the phone is broken, he fell down the ladder. So right away, even if the guy says he's fine but his back hurts, he's not fine. Definitely call an ambulance, call 911, get an ambulance there. You know, we don't know how he fell off the ladder. He slipped. But that's what happened there. Hello, Sylvia. How you doing? Nice to see you. We're just going over our accident of the week, our accident investigation, and this time a fella fell off a ladder, which is quite easy to do. You got to maintain 3 points of contact minimum, so 2 feet and a hand or 2 hands and a foot. But remember, always maintain 3 points of contact when you're climbing a ladder. Don't hold a bunch of stuff in your hands when you're climbing a ladder. Lower stuff down with a rope or pull it up. Or if you're wearing a tool bag, wear your tool bag. Keep both hands on the ladder. So that's important to do. And right away, if you feel, as soon as the guy was passed out, remember when Billy Mays hit his head and then died of a blood clot? That's what he died of, eh? Yeah, it's no joke. Having your head hit is big time emergency. And you can see with this guy, it cost him his life. He hit the back of his head. He didn't get to the hospital until much later than he should have. And then, almost a month later, 3 weeks later, he succumbed to his injuries. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but it's a lesson for us all to learn. Something we could take with us is don't be in a rush when you're using ladders. You're using a ladder because you're reaching an area that's pretty high. Maintain 3 points of contact. And make sure when you get to something like this, make sure when you get to the top that you're not going to lose your grip. Because climbing out of one of these hatches can be a little tricky. So make sure you, like I say, good footing, keep good points of contact, 3 of them minimum. Don't mess around with ladders. It's unfortunate this guy could have been helped out if you'd probably got him to the hospital sooner. Anyways, that's our incident investigation. Next up, it's going to be picture time. It's picture time. I know everybody loves picture time. And I have a new background for you guys to guess. There you go. New background. Because Comic Relief Crusader guessed the last one. Can anybody tell me what show this character is from? I'm hoping this fools a few people. You guys have been really good so far with getting it, but not really much to go by, I know, but quite terrible. Yes, DJ. All right. So the title of the stream is The Recycling Lie. I worked in recycling for a lot of years. That's not the name, DJ. And this is what it looks like when you have an outage or a piece of equipment that's not working and the recycling doesn't stop, right? When they're out collecting from the curbs, you don't stop when you get to the recycling center. You just have the trucks keep unloading and it starts flowing out the door. Look at all those blue bags, cardboard, blue bags, all sorts of stuff. Reminds you of the thumbnail for a series in the library called Quite Terrible, but you never saw it. Nope. Yeah, well, good guess, DJ. Very good guess. These are some of the areas that store. We've cleaned it all up because we're putting up some walls to help protect. It's just like the New York City sanitation strike of 1974. There you go. Yeah, so in this little storage area, we're going to put up some plate, help protect the walls here. So for that, you need a crane. And so you bring in a crane that yours truly was operating. I was the designated crane operator for that job. And you need a skid steer. So you get a skid steer, you got the crane. And you can see the plate. We got the plate there. Plate clamp attached to the hook. I believe it's a 1/2 inch thick steel plate. And you can see all the dust floating through the air. Very dry and dusty in there. So there you go. That's what the we're moving right along and covering up that wall with this plate. And the welder comes by and he stitches it in place because, you know, that's what welders do. That's the best way for us to attach it there. The welder had cut spots that he could weld to so that it would suck it in to the wall. This is a gear from a motor and gear set, and look at how much that's worn. So that's what it originally looked like, and then this is how much it wore down. So that is a lot of wear. Also, okay, that's from our baler. So this is what happens when your material, your metal inside your baler gets too thin. It starts getting peeled up because it's too thin. And this starts happening because there's no way to... They didn't want to take care of the balers like they were supposed to. Just pictures of gearboxes and such that run the equipment. Godzilla loves these pictures of the tags on the motors. He likes them with the big flash so you can't see anything. But they're so Eurodrive, so metric. Just checking to see how big my hand was compared to the gearbox. One of our separators here. This separates out all the heavy stuff, falls between these wheels. Or they call them stars. It's called a star screener, but yeah. Heavy stuff falls through and lighter stuff gets pushed along out over the top. So it helps separate stuff out. But as you can see, bags and everything would get caught on them. So the workers would have to get in there and take their knives, cut all the bags out of it. It's a regular thing to do, regular maintenance for them. Getting a shot of the hydraulic system. I think I've shown you guys this one before, but this should have a nicely square cut keyway in it, but this is what happens when you let it go too far. That's supposed to be a nice rectangular shape, and it's not. So we pulled this gearbox off, and this is what it looked like. As you can see, there it is. There's the hook for the crane. We reached the crane over top and pulled the gearbox off. There's what the new one looks like. See, nice square keyway. We'll have to just polish that up and slide the gearbox on. There's a look down one of the conveyors. And that gearbox that we took off is right here, driving that conveyor. And then it drops everything onto this one. And it brings it, and it goes all the way up to the sorting table. And you can see the amount of recyclables here. Plastic, cardboard, metal, anything that is thrown into a blue bin or a blue box or blue bag ended up here. Looking at some of the chain drive here. There's that, it's polished up now, cleaned it up a bit, get rid of all the corrosion that's on it, make it easier to slide the gearbox back on. Picture of the chain drive. So this is a chain driven belt. This thing is, these are rollers between the chain links, and it's built for moving heavy material on that conveyor. Not just light stuff, but really heavy stuff. You need that the chain and roller in order to do that. There's another shot of it there. You'll notice we got this pipe running up the center. That is for fires. Because this place was so dry and we had lots of paper, you could easily start stuff on fire. So we needed fire suppression. And as you could see, stuff would always fall everywhere. So it's a very difficult place to keep clean. These were neat. These are magnetic plates. They're like polyurethane plates, very hard plastic, but they were magnetic. And if you needed to cushion something on a chute that stuff was falling on, so it wouldn't wear away the chute, you use these instead. So it wears away these things, and then all you do is you just peel it off, stick a new one on with magnets. These were very handy for reducing the abrasion of chutes. More pictures of gearboxes. This is what happens to videotapes, everybody. When you throw out videotapes, they get wrapped around bearings. That's what happens. As you get a picture of my living space. Well, I don't know, DJ, but you're also out of milk. So yeah, there's where all the videotape goes. So you grab yourself a knife and you just hack away until you get rid of it all, because it just wraps itself around bearings and just ruins them. Another shot of it. Another angle. There's another shot of some of those impact tiles. Because I'm standing in the chute, like I'm standing on a conveyor belt, and I'm inside the chute. You can see over here is a door, so you close that door, but you needed access to get to the inside of the chute here sometimes. So down in the subfloor, so they had conveyors that were floor level, so you have to have a subfloor so you can get to the, but a lot of stuff would sometimes end up in the subfloor. Look at all that garbage. Just all that stuff down there. But you can see there's the concrete floor there, and then there's the floor level conveyor. Just easy to push stuff on there with a loader or whatever to load up that conveyor. Lockout, tagout. You got her, DJ. That's right. Lockout, tagout is most important. You're working on equipment. Make sure it's shut down. You lock out the power source. And then you go and try it. You do a bump test. You got to bump it to see whether did you lock out the right thing? That makes sure that you verified that you've locked out the right power source. Otherwise, if you push the button and it starts up, then you locked out the wrong one. Oh, this was the damage those guys did. This thing here. This is supposed to be a wall. But somebody pushed something with the loader and it hit one of the pipes, and the pipe just went boom right into the wall. Just creamed the thing. Yeah, see, look at that. They just smashed that thing in. Some parts. I think we had to weld and make a cover to go over that. Yep. So the welder did a good job on fixing this up. Oh, I wonder if this is when this failed. Could be. You can see the chain is down in here. That's not right. Yep. So they in management's wisdom, they decided not to shut down to do any kind of maintenance on this thing, even though they were being told that this thing is wearing itself out. The chain is going to wear through the frame, and then it's going to collapse, and that'll be the end of it. But they chose to not listen, not pay attention, it's the city's fault, actually. The city was the ultimate ones that didn't want to spend any money to shut down. And so this is the result. You don't want to shut down in a controlled fashion? Well, then this thing is going to shut down when you don't want it to. And the whole conveyor was just junk. There was nothing you could do to fix it. The frame was just wrecked. As you can see, the belt is laying there. Because you got to take the belt off in order to get access to it. But, yeah. So, good job there, city. Because you're so cheap, you made a lot of work for everybody, and you cost yourself a lot of money too. So yeah, we had to block it off so nobody could fall in and remove the old one. As you can see, there used to be you used to come down in here and get it used to be here to get dumped onto and take it away. Yeah, but now there's the replacement right there. They panicked and had to bring in a conveyor that they didn't have as much capacity, but they were desperate. So they grabbed whatever they could. Oh, and there's a little guy that I caught him on camera during wintertime. There he is. Not quite sure what he is. Not sure if he's a muskrat or what, but that was in 2019. Saw him running around out there, so I thought I'd get a picture of him. This is the new chain conveyor. So it's got nice wheels on it. All the chains, they're looking good. They're not worn away. They're riding on the proper railing. Yeah, DJ, very ferret-like. That's what I thought too. What do we got here? Oh, the baler. That just goes to show you how much. This is how much there is of recycling stuff that just sits around. These were taken at like at 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning or so. So the maintenance crew's on. That's us, and the operators are all at home. So while the machinery is shut down from 11 o'clock till 7 in the morning. That's it was all ours to try to repair stuff while machines were off. But you can see, look at this, just inundated with all that recyclable material. Is this when we're changing the drum? This is when we're changing the drum. This thing here. This thing needed to be changed. And it was getting bad. Like, that's very well worn and thin. Look at this. Look at this. The place is such a mess. You got a plastic thing covering the motor intake so it can't cool itself. Like a plastic bag there. Like, these guys did not, no matter what we told them, they didn't want to clean. Paper everywhere. All the blue bags, all the cardboard. The tail pulley here, these things are really thin. These winged pulleys are great for keeping themselves clear as long as the material isn't wet or sticky. If it's dry, they keep themselves pretty clean. Just the amount of plastic here, blue bags. This is the baling machine. One of the baling machine. Okay. There's all the bales of paper. Look at them all. Paper here, cardboard back here. There's cans somewhere, but I can't remember where. But there you go. Baled all the paper. You see it's waiting at the loading dock. So all they did with these papers is put them onto trucks, into sea cans, and send them to China. That's all they did. They didn't do anything to recycle them. There is no recycling here. All they did was put them on sea cans and send them on a boat and to China, and whatever China does with them, burn them. Because that's all I think they could do with them. I don't think they tried to make them into new paper. There was never any company that was buying this stuff locally. Oh yeah, this is an exit door. Can't get out of it very well. There's another shot of it. Buried right up to the exit sign. So I hope you didn't want to get out of the building. Yeah, lots of, what a mess. Here's the other baler. Looks like they're doing mixed cardboard or mixed waste right now. Pretty neat how it compresses it and then wraps a wire around it. So you got a wire right there. It's not like paper ever goes on fire. Who needs an exit? Yeah, that's right, DJ. Who needs an exit? Come on. Oh yeah, here's one of the, here's a new wear strip and an old wear strip. Look at how much that's worn. That's a new one. That's an old one. Just down to nothing. Down to the weld. Unbelievable how much they would run these things just to failure. There's another shot of it. New one. Old one. What do we got here? Metal that's peeling from the rubbing of the conveyor. It's amazing. Rubber can wear down this metal. I've seen it. Also, rebar showing out of the floor from the loader running over the floor, scooping up the recycled material. So there's a piece of rebar. There's a piece of rebar. And you tell management, hey, the rebar through the floor is showing. And they're like, okay, go cut the rebar pieces out. Not, well, we're going to put fresh concrete on the floor. No, just cut the rebar pieces out so they don't puncture the tire. It's like, okay. There you go. There's another shot. Rebar. You can't imagine wearing a concrete pad down until you hit the rebar. It's usually halfway in there. Provides some stability. It's supposed to provide something for the concrete to grab onto, so it's more, got some strength to it. There's a better shot there. There's a piece there, piece there, piece there, piece there. Yeah, just showing. This used to be a key for the keyway. It's round now. It's supposed to be rectangle. It's supposed to be a rectangle. That's round. There's the old one. That's supposed to be a rectangle for the key seat for the key to sit in. But it's just ruined. There's another one that's ruined. I can't remember what that's for. I think it's a roller for a conveyor. Worn down to nothing. Somebody said clean up around there, and I said, okay, I'll clean up around there. Boom. You like that, DJ? Worn down to nothing. There's the brand new. Is that the brand new one? Or is that the old one? Looks brand new. Could be the old one. Tail pulley. It's a winged tail pulley. No, this is the old one. It's missing pieces. These supports, this is supposed to go all the way along here, but it's a piece here, a chunk of that out of it here, a chunk out of it here. That's not what it's supposed to look like. Just worn down. Messes everywhere. It was a very messy place. Nobody took the time to keep it clean. It was all go, 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 go. Production, production, production. No time. There's some more cardboard where they would store it before shipping it away. These are the stairs you're supposed to walk on. Look at this. How is that acceptable? I think we were fixing up the chute here, putting in new metal. They pushed the garbage up so high it got on top of the mezzanine. Like this pile should not be here. But whoever's on the loader just kept pushing and pushing until it just flooded over top of here and landed on the mezzanine. Like, this is up pretty high. I climbed a ladder to get up here. There's another shot of it. Different lighting. And then this guy who operates the grapple, he's got to be careful. He easily wreck a bunch of stuff just with his grapple. That's the lube for the chain drive. Cracks in the grapple. Look at that. The grapple has a giant crack in it. It's just how they're using it. So that's got to be gouged out, welded up again. Looks like it was fixed previously over here, as you can see by this weld. Yeah, I'll have to grind that out. Oh, man. Excuse me for a second. All right. We're just seeing how much things get worn away. As you can see, the metal gets really thin. And this is what happens. Your framework wears away. Yeah, and sometimes, you know, where you hold your belts together, those get worn away. This lacing here. So yeah, looks like there's a repair there that's got to be done. You got to pull out the lace. And then put some new, geez, I can't remember what they call these guys. But these interlocking pieces, they got to go, you take them off, you put new ones on, and then you put the lace through again. Yeah, that's what it is, guys. It's clips, the clips, the seam, yeah. So that's always fun. Like I say, you put that in, put that. You have to loosen the conveyor off, like take the slack, let some slack on, remove these, take out the lace, put the clips on, feed the lace back through. That's the hardest part, is getting that stupid lace to get through. Because it's like a piece of wire rope, and you got to try to feed it through. And then you get chunks out of the belt. You get, you know, pieces taken out of it. Sometimes it gets caught because those thin pieces of metal cut it now. So you got to try to make do until the conveyor company can come in and replace the belt. There's another one. The clips just rub so much that they just rub away. All the material gets rubbed away, and that's it. They just break. Yeah, this is okay. Yep, we're just gonna leave bare wires sticking out of the pipes because somehow the loader got the emergency light. I don't know how he did it, but he smashed it off this post. So yeah, they put some JBs on. This is the electrician doing this. He took my camera and wanted to get some pictures. So he took those pictures. He put the junction boxes on so that they would be contained. Because it's like halfway up the side of the post. You just had to make do with some of this. Like, look at this mess. What a mess. They just did not care. And this is how they were filling up the one baler. It was a top load. So you just load it up through the top. And it just compressed everything. This is the one time that it's clean. You can see it's midnight. The machinery is clean because nobody's using it. Same with the strapper here. This is the strapper for the bales. This is the one I was telling you that's top loading. It comes up here, gets dumped in the top, then it gets compressed, pushed out the front here. This is where it gets the wires put on to hold the bales. Yeah, and yeah, just looking at some of the damage. You know, things are leaning because guys run into them with forklifts and such. Oh, this is the bag ripper. Can't see it very well. The bags, the recycling bags get dumped in here and those teeth would grab on and rip it. one set would stay stationary and one would move, then the next set would move and the other set would stay stationary. So you got 2 sets of rippers. Yeah, it's not bad, DJ. I wish the lighting would have been a bit better, but we're trying to see what's going on with this thing. It looks like it's having a hard time. It's probably because it's out of sequence. But nobody in management wanted to pay for the company that could program it to come and do it. Instead, they just insisted that we try to do it ourselves. And it's like, you know what? You guys are dumb. Just spend the money. Get somebody to come here. Program it. How long is it going for? Okay. How much longer? Yeah, this thing would always give us trouble. I was not impressed with this thing. There you go. Oh, and there's the thing that would do the operation. Of course, it's Siemens, but like I said, they didn't want to pay for anybody to come out and do anything about it. Try to get a look at the model of number, but that didn't work out very well. Hydraulic level seems okay. Motor and pump are running okay. Pay for service? What, are you mad? Apparently. There's another view of that drum moving. This is when I took a tour of the whole place. See over here, nothing but pop bottles and milk jugs, plastics. They just drop everything. When it's time to go home, everybody just drops everything. So here's the baler. Here's where the big ram is. that does a lot of the compressing. The hydraulic power pack there. Here's the other baler. This is where they would trim them up. If the bales came out ratty looking, they had a bunch of guys with knives here and they would just trim them to make it look better. Everyone turns to Olympic sprinters when that shift ends. Yeah. It's like, what? Time to go home? Woof. Just a mess. You can see a lot of conveyors are overhead. Right, I'm at ground level, so everything's raised up so they can have chutes for stuff to come down into. As you can see, there's bins underneath these chutes for different things. One cardboard, one plastic, paper, whatever it happens to be at the time. We're going towards the where the whole thing starts. Okay, we'll cut through this way, I guess. Some more mess. Go out onto the main floor. I think that's where I'm headed for. Oh, but wait, I can't get there. Because there's a big pile of junk in the way. There's the loader. And then we're right back to the shop again. Watching the oiler oil the chain by how many drops per minute.
So what I'm aiming for is a 1/4 inch per foot center to center. So this thing would be what? 8
This
foot,
is where we're getting instructions on the new balers they bought.
Up, 2 inch down. So 4 inch total.
That's pretty boring stuff though. Anyways, that's the recycling industry. It's you're being lied to. How many places do you know that take in cardboard and make new stuff out of it, or paper, or plastic? Why aren't there more of those places around? I don't even hear about them. That's because a lot of the stuff just gets sent to China, or Philippines, or Vietnam, or wherever they decide to ship it off to, because it's not profitable. Recycling is not profitable, no matter what they tell you. There is no. Why aren't people really serious about it? Cities aren't cities aren't serious about it because at least our city was not serious about it, because there was nobody that was buying this stuff locally. Or even in the province, nobody was coming to us and asking for all the bales of paper, or all the bales of cardboard, or all the bales of cans. It just wasn't happening. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what do you guys think? Is it happening in your town? Does your city take recycling seriously? Recycling is the equivalent of moving an expense to another department. Not my problem now. Yes, that's exactly it. It's like, oh, so a lot of people call it the recycling facility, but it was just a sorting facility. It was just sorting the material and shipping it off somewhere else. Shipping it off to other countries. Not being sold to any business that was going to make, they never told us. They never told anybody that there's sold to this company that takes cardboard and makes new cardboard out of it. No, none of that. Well, I think that's going to be it for me for tonight, everyone. I do appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out with me for so long. I know we can get really into the garbage and recycling talk because I've been in it for so long. But yeah, I should have some new material for you next week. This week's been a little bit a little hectic with other things to do, but I want to get some good videos for you guys on that railing rebuild I'm doing. So I'll get some video on that and have it for next time. So if you guys could do me a favor, please hit that like button if you're on YouTube, tell your friends, spread the word, let them know old Pop's here. I'm here Tuesday nights and Saturdays and Sundays. Coming up on Saturday, more Magic Knight Rayearth for the Sega Saturn. I'm really getting into this game. I'm liking it. I like the anime. I like the game. We're going to keep playing until the very end. Hopefully I can build my levels up, get strong enough to take down the evil Zagato. But tune in on Saturday to see that. On Sunday, May's theme is Pop's Choice, which means I'm going to pick whatever I want. Doesn't matter what genre, I'm going to pick the shows that I like the best, and I'm going to bring them to you. And I hope you guys like them too. If not, you go. Tell me why. We can have a discussion. Tell me the ones you like the best. And that's happening on Sunday. And then on Tuesday, we're back here again. More industrial talk. More articles, more accident investigations, and more pictures and videos. All that kind of good stuff. And I hope to see you guys here. When I'm not streaming, though, you should check out these other great streamers like Pacific 4 and 4 and DJ Ronnie G. Brandon the Anime Guy. You can check out the Comic Relief Crusader, who's probably streaming right now. He has his titillating Tuesdays. There's Infinite Metal. He's probably going to stream too right now. He's on both Kick and Twitch. He plays retro games. He's a fun guy to hang out with. I always have a good laugh watching Infinite Metal play his games. And then there's a VTuber named Call Me Kixie. She's really warm and welcoming, and you'll always have a fun time watching her play some indie games. And she streams on Saturdays for like 6 hours. She really goes at it. But it's always a fun time. I like going and chatting with Kixie. She's very family friendly, so You're in good hands. A nice chill stream. Anyways, that's going to be it for me tonight, guys. Pixie? No, Kixie, not Pixie. It's the Comic Relief Crusader. Here he is. You're just in time for the end there, CRC. I'm just wrapping things up here. Hope you guys had a fun time. I know I did. I always like chatting with everybody, hearing all those great stories. Make sure if you find any items of interest, send them my way, either Discord or Twitter. I know they're calling it X. I'll always call it Twitter. You can do that. Send it my way, and we'll go over it. We'll see what we think about it. Well, all right. Time to call her a night. It was good seeing you all. I will see you the next time I'm streaming, which will be on Saturday. I hope to see you then. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.